Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Also, welcome back to Major League Soccer. The MLS is back, pardon me, the hashtag MLS is back tournament is happening right now at the ESPN Wide World of Sports in Orlando, Florida, in the most irresponsible state in the most irresponsible country in the middle of a global pandemic. I wouldn't have it any other way. She lied. God bless. The show must go onward, right? As of today, every team in the tournament has played at least once in the group stage. And by every team, I mean 24 of the 26 teams in the league. That's because FC Dallas dropped out on July 6th, 2 days before the tournament started. After nearly a dozen of their players tested positive for COVID, they still hung out in Orlando for a week before they could go home though. So I guess they got the full bubble tournament experience. The same thing happened for Nashville, and they dropped out on July 9th. If you took a gander at the original tournament bracket, you'll remember that Group A had 6 teams, while every other Groups B through F had 4. With those 2 dropouts and a shift for Chicago from Group A to Group B, we're now even Steven all around. Player for Kansas City did test positive for COVID, but I haven't heard anything about it since the news broke a couple days ago, and I don't think any more teams are going to be dropping out because of COVID. Knock on wood. Group stage is of course followed by the knockout round, or the round of 16, and that starts on July 25th. Those games are the whole reason that you, sweet baby angels, filled out my MLS is back between clean sheets tournament bracket. And remember, the winner of that gets an MLS jersey of their choice. The group stage was supposed to count toward the regular season, but with Dallas and Nashville gone, I'm not sure if that's still the case. And with the way Atlanta's playing, I'm pretty sure their fans hope that it doesn't either. The winner of the tournament, however, earns a 2021 CONCACAF Champions League berth, which honestly feels more like a punishment than a prize. The tournament is close enough to Epcot that I'm considering it a bastardized World Cup, especially since they had a formal drawing for the group stage, even though it looks like all of MLS's manufactured rivalries made it into their own groups. And also the games were at insanely weird times. 9 a.m., 8 p.m., which I guess isn't strange, and 10:30 p.m., many of which are during the week, by the way. And that's all to avoid the insane Orlando heat. And these boys are still sweating, kind of like this. Josie Altidore, who hasn't yet played for Toronto in this tournament, did tweet that he felt like 9 a.m. was too late of a kickoff. And I honestly agree with him. If they switched to a 7 a.m. kickoff, it'd be about 75 to 78 degrees. By the time they finished, it would be like 85 degrees, instead of finishing at like 11 a.m. where it'd be 90 degrees. Now that doesn't sound crazy. Kind of sounds like a summer day in Dallas, Houston, Utah, honestly DC. But factor in the humidity and use that thing on your weather app called Feels Like, and suddenly it's 105 degrees at 10 a.m. I do get why they scheduled it that way, but now that I'm watching so much soccer after bedtime, it does feel like these games take forever. Factoring in hydration breaks, the additional amount of subs they're allowed to make, and the extended amount of time I feel like players are laying on the ground with injuries, both real and fake, it is not at all uncommon to add 8 to 10 minutes of stoppage time to each half in these games. If you decide to tune into one of these games, know that ESPN is free of crowd noise, whereas FS1 is not. And perhaps the most notable non-soccer thing happening beside COVID is the lack of national anthem. Now, some of y'all joke that MLS is a glorified pickup league anyway, so do you sing the national anthem before your 7v7 game at 9 p.m. when the high school football team finally let you use their field? No? Okay, well, consider the same thing here. In seriousness, I personally feel that the league is doing the right thing here. They are making time and space for players and staff to honor both Black lives and Black players ahead of each game with a moment of silence that is completely separate of the anthem. Will that continue after the tournament is over? I'm not sure. I've tuned into every game of the tournament so far, whether from my bed, my couch, on a Zoom call with fans of a team that I don't even root for, and tonight I will be enjoying DC United and New England Revolution from a 2-person safety pod at Audi Field, where I can bring my own snacks. DC United's schedule has been the most affected in this tournament so far, if you ask me. Well, and Toronto's. Their first game against each other last week was rescheduled twice. First, to accommodate the general shift in the tournament after Dallas and Nashville dropped out, and second, happened on Sunday morning. At 9 a.m. they were supposed to kick off, but 30 minutes ahead of time, 2 COVID tests that were conducted the night before came back as positive for a DC United player and inconclusive for a Toronto FC player. It took them 24 hours to confirm that both were actually negative, but they pushed the game 24 hours ahead to Monday morning at 9 a.m., the same time as all your favorite conference calls for all your favorite jobs. And I'm sure you heard DC United came back after being down 2-0 at the half to tie Toronto 2-2 and gain a point in Group B. In fact, MLS is back should actually be called MLS is a comeback, due in large part to the lack of fitness and the rate at which it takes for various teams to finally click on the field after being away from each other for 100+ days. We've seen a few crazy comebacks in this tournament. Stoppage time goals alone, which I already considered unicorns in Major League Soccer, for Major League Soccer, have been chef's kiss. As of Wednesday night, of the 15 games played in this tournament so far, 7 goals were scored in stoppage time. When ranking the comebacks of the tournament so far, the gold standard is Monday night's game where Houston played LAFC. Houston came out swinging in the first half with their homegrown secret weapon, Memo Rodriguez, in central midfield. He scored 2 goals in the first half while LAFC struggled to connect. Remember, Carlos Vela is out of the tournament with the club's blessing to be with his family, which isn't the worst thing. They signed Bradley Wright Phillips from New York Red Bulls in the offseason, and BWP is an MLS veteran. In the 240 appearances he had with the New York Red Bulls, he scored 126 goals. A guy that can perform all by himself, doesn't need the team to make an impact. So yeah, it was his first appearance with LAFC, but being the fastest player to reach 100 goals in MLS, of course he scored. At the half, it was 2-1, and by the end of the game, it was 3-3. Whatever you predicted, it was the accumulation of many factors. Tab Ramos is brand new as head coach for Houston Dynamo. Carlos Vela is of course out with LAFC. National team center back Walker Zimmerman left LAFC in the offseason for Nashville, and they've been dealing with a new back line. And oh yeah, a life in a bubble in Orlando, Florida, in the middle of a freaking pandemic. Now, for the fool's gold standard, Wednesday night's Group B match between San Jose and Vancouver was the absolute wildest Major League Soccer game I have ever watched. And sure, it's a comeback in the most technical sense of the word, but it honestly felt like they were playing foosball on a cruise ship, and the cruise ship was out in the ocean in the middle of a hurricane. I want to give you the skinny on the game, but I think you should watch the highlight. What I will do in the meantime is do a dramatic reading of MLSsoccer.com's recap. Yes, you heard me right, MLSsoccer.com. So MajorLeagueSoccer.com. I know. Here's the dramatic reading. I have it on my teleprompter. San Jose Earthquakes versus Vancouver Whitecaps, Wednesday night, July 15th. Vancouver grabbed the early lead 7 minutes after kickoff when Adnan collected a ball down the left flank, charged into the box, and ripped a perfectly placed curling strike to the far post and into the net. That lead then doubled on a bizarre own goal in the 22nd minute on a wild sequence that started after San Jose lost possession following a corner kick and didn't have numbers back, allowing Vancouver forward Jordi Reyna to escape all the way to the back, to the other end of the field, into the wide open breakaway against Quakes goalkeeper Daniel Vega. Instead of taking the shot, Reyna attempted to lay the ball off to Dajome. Dajome! Giving 2 San Jose defenders enough time to close the space. But the pass, it wound up deflecting off of Judson and rolling into the net, improbably putting the Caps up 2-0. San Jose would cap off the chaotic first half by pulling one back after Rios stuck his leg out and cheekily redirected a corner kick past Whitecaps keeper Maxime Crépeau, cutting the deficit to 2-1 just before the halftime whistle. Vancouver got its third though in the 59th minute after an ill-advised pass in his own penalty box from Vega was picked off by David Milinkovic, who dished off to Dajome. Dajome for an easy finish into the open net. Wondolowski, who came on in the second half, pulled the Quakes within a 3-2 in the 72nd minute in vintage fashion, nodding home a close-range header off a deflection that popped high into the air and in front goal before Alanis cashed home an 81st minute headed finish off a corner kick from Magnus Eriksson to make it 3-3. The game was tied. Salinas, he found the winner with a stellar individual effort, making a charging run from close to midfield and sliding home his shot from inside the area past Crépeau, allowing San Jose to snatch all 3 points. And scene. Now these are all exciting games, and before I take you to my bracket, I must say, when I'm ranking teams that either exceeded, met, or failed to meet expectations, I have to rank them as such. A team that exceeded my expectations, Orlando. Orlando City, though they have the home field advantage, that sort of thing has never really helped them out before, and they have failed to connect in a way that's made for meaningful seasons for several years now. However, they're at the top of their group right now. Who met expectations? Well, I wanted to say FC Cincinnati, who played Columbus in their first game and lost 4-0 in the most Cincinnati fashion possible. However, by the time this publishes, they beat Atlanta United 1-0, which takes me to my failed expectations category. Atlanta United. They have lost both games of their group stage. One against the New York Red Bulls, and the second against FC Cincinnati. I want you to let that sink in. Anyway, I've previously recorded me filling out my bracket for the MLS is Back Between Clean Sheets tournament bracket. I have them all in my inbox and I am happy to share them as we reach the round of 16/knockout stage. Thank you so much for watching. Please follow me at BTWN Clean Sheets on Twitter and more importantly, Instagram. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate your support. And until next time, peace, love, soccer, stay safe. Thanks, guys.